The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Welcome back to another episode of Cashing Out. I'm your host, Billy Alvaro, my co-host, Wayne Hartart. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. We're located right over here in Holbrook, New York. You can find us online at easysell411.com, by phone 631-400-EASY, because I have to open up and ask, what in the hell happened to your face?
I got a little lumped up, man.
Did Anthony in your office whack you out?
I started fighting like I was when I was younger.
You get like your eyes banged up, my eyes banged up, and your eyes banged up. So we have three people on the show today, and everybody's eyes are banged up.
All messed up. This is the first time I could see out of it, to be honest with you.
It was all shut on you?
Yeah, I went to the doctor Friday, and I should have let him cut it or do what he had to do. I think
Cut me, Mick.
Cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick.
Unbelievable.
Now it's like going down the side of my face.
You look like you've been in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Just go whatever store you want to go with. People will believe it.
Yeah.
Because you look like you got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
In case you guys out there don't know who we are a family-owned and operated business, Easy Sell Property Solutions. We've been open since 2009. I'm dating myself now. 2009. We buy properties all day, every day for cash. We have a very unique program called the Easy Way Out. And when I tell you it literally is the fastest, easiest, most hassle-free way to sell your home, I'm not bullshitting you. Give us a call at the office, 631-400-EASY, or go online, easysell411.com. It really is fast and easy. We deal with all types of situations, Wayne, right? Like, let's just go through in the beginning the types of issues that we handle, that we solve, the problems that we solve.
Many of them. Folks, if you have homes that are just falling apart, dilapidated, CO issues, your grandfather put a second story on it, extensions, decks, COs, illegal apartments, violations on them, we love those ones. Please pick up the phone, give us a shout. You could be behind on your taxes. You could be behind on your mortgage. You could have inherited the property. You could be going through probate or something. You're out of state and your family just wants to sell the property. We have no problems there. We'll actually come. We'll pack up everything, all the belongings. We'll send them to you, or you leave everything there. I mean, there's so many options. And I think the big thing we want to stress to you is we'll close folks on your timeline.
Which is key.
Yeah, key. If you want to close in 3 weeks, we have clear title. Great. You want to close 6 months from now, 3 months from now when school ends, whenever you want. We'll close on your timeline. If we don't, we'll actually give you a credit at the closing. So it's something that we stress to you.
Not only do we buy properties with problems, because that's like people are like, oh, do you only buy foreclosures? I get that all the time. Like, oh, you only buy foreclosures? No, absolutely not. Let me give you a case in point, right? So this week and a half ago in New Jersey, we closed on a property, and the husband and wife were selling it. They were retiring. They have a place that they purchased in Arizona. They had no foreclosure issue. They weren't behind on their mortgage. They didn't inherit the property. The house had basically all the C of Os. Didn't need work. Had all the C of Os. It really wasn't a bad situation. So why did they utilize us? Why did they sell to us versus listing it on the market with a realtor and going through? And I'll tell you, the number one reason why is because they didn't want the hassles. He told me and she told me straight out, look, I don't want to have an open house in here. I don't want people walking through every day of the week and have my house cleaned up. I want to know that I have an offer. I want to close on the day that I want to close, and I want my money, and I want to walk away. And for that, she gave us the opportunity to buy it. We ended up buying on it, closing on it. She could have gotten more money had she listed it, but she traded off the hassle-free process for putting it on the market and having all the headaches of selling. So when you're out there listening, yes, we specialize in solving problems, major problems. I mean, any type of problem you could think of, we have a solution for it. But on the flip side, if you just want a hassle-free transaction and you don't want to have to go through the stress and struggles of listing it, having people run through your home, hope to God that they get approved for a mortgage,
that's a big one.
Definitely give us a call, 631-400-EASY, or online, easysell411. Have a very, very special guest today. We're doing a little bit of a spin. We're starting to interview local experts out here in Long Island, New York. And today I'm blessed to have on my show, first female that we're going to be interviewing here, Julie Solomon from Corporate Hiring Solutions from Islandia. Julie, how you doing?
Good. Thank you, Billy. I'm very honored to be here today. I really appreciate it.
She's such a good speaker.
She's so nice, right?
She's so prim and proper.
I think all the women
That's
are going to be. It's going to be different.
That's how she rolls.
I don't think we're going to find women like Ronnie.
You know what? I mean, because the business she's in, she's a respectful person. She's in the business of hiring. So let's go in. Like, you and I speak all the time, Wayne. The lifeblood of a business obviously is marketing, because you have to convert leads. But your two biggest assets are the team members, your employees that you have, and your client base that you build. And so, Julie, you specialize in one of the two, which is really bringing in highly qualified candidates into people's businesses. So let's start, before we go back on how you get started, let's go into and understand, why would a company want to outsource this to you? Because I know why, but I want our listeners out there to know, why would they outsource this part of the business, the recruiting piece, to yourself?
Because most of the time in HR departments, they have so many different responsibilities, and they just don't have the time to recruit. Recruiting takes a very long time to find that unique person. You're looking for a needle in the haystack, and they rather outsource it so they could spend time on other responsibilities.
It makes sense. I mean, we know ourselves going through the
job for us.
It's a job.
It's a full-time job.
So if you don't have a recruitment process in place, a system for constantly bringing in highly qualified candidates, then the solution obviously would be to hit up somebody like Julie. So what are some of the struggles that like people inside HR face? I know it's a needle in a haystack, but what do they face trying to recruit?
They get bombarded with tons and tons of resumes, and they
so
don't have.
And most of the resumes are BS.
Yeah, yes, most of the.
So sifting and sorting is a job in and of itself.
95% of those to the side.
They don't have the time, or sometimes they don't have the eye to really. You have to look at that resume in 6 seconds and decide: is this a good resume? Am I going to pass? Am I going to call? And they just don't have the time to do it, and they don't have the patience a lot of times. So, recruiters will always be needed, no matter what type of market is going on.
100%. And when I had my mortgage bank, we relied heavily on recruitment, and I think we actually utilized you back in the day. Yeah, we actually utilized you years ago.
I placed a girl named Jenny.
Oh my God,
assistant.
Jenny was great actually. Yeah. Jenny actually came in part-time and then became a full-time processor.
Yes, I remember.
She was I think she's still in the industry now. Great girl, by the way. Yeah, she was a winner. Oh, but see, that proves itself. I didn't. It proved because
I like how you get a little giddy up there.
Well, I get a little excited. But it just goes to show like back in the day, I was not an expert, and still I'm not an expert in looking at resumes and deciding like who should we bring in. And I'm sure HR departments with all the stuff that they need to do, the responsibilities. This part of it, hiring, it's like a niche. Like you really have to become an expert at hiring. They're probably good at doing the procedures and making sure everything runs right, but bringing somebody in, like we said it how we opened, the lifeblood of a business is marketing, but the two biggest assets you have are your employees and your clients. And so you have to spend a lot of time up front to bring in the right employee, because I'm sure you guys have done studies. Maybe you don't know off the top of your head, but what does it cost a company to bring in a bad recruit? Right?
Well, usually, if a company was going to hire an in-house recruiter, I would say in Long Island the salaries range from $50,000 to $90,000 in Long Island, and then plus they have to pay the benefits. But they may not be getting that sense of urgency and that tons of they don't have the time.
Yeah, it's craziness.
All over the place, so they're not focused in one area.
Have you ever done any studies or read anything like what if any business out there hires a bad person, a bad employee, what does that cost that business?
That's a very good question.
Do you have any idea about that?
It costs them. I mean, first they pay. Let's say they hire someone and they're working there for 3 months, they're paying their benefits, they're paying whatever their salary is. They just lost $10,000, let's say, in
plus
3 months.
All the time
and
energy
and
to set them up. Right? It's a lot. Hiring bad, making a bad hiring choice is like, I've been there. I think we've all been there, and it just could really take you out. You really need to invest the proper timing up front. So let's talk about what you do. How do you go about doing what you do? You don't have to give us the details in the back end, but if somebody was to come in and say, Julie, I'm looking for a person in, I don't know, IT or sales or whatever particular job function they're looking to fulfill, what's the process like?
So we do multiple things. We search some of the job boards, but you have to have a LinkedIn Recruiter today. You cannot survive being a recruiter without LinkedIn Recruiter.
So that's like one of the keys.
Which costs a lot of money. And that's the other thing, too, that when companies are using a staffing agency like us, they don't realize how much money we're spending on our resources, which
because it's your business.
Right.
This is all you do.
Right. This is all we do. So, of course, we're going to invest the money, but companies might be saving in that respect because they're not spending the money on the resources. So what I do is we would look at the different job boards. We would look at LinkedIn Recruiter. Sometimes we do postings, but not too often. Most of the time we're searching. We use social media, referrals. I mean, there's a multitude of different resources that we go to, and you just have to keep going at it so you find the right person. You have to try different things.
So you go through all that process, and then what's your process like for you find a candidate, whether you poach from another company, if that's one of your methods, or if you're searching on job boards, or if you're just putting posts out there, whatever it is, what's the process then once you identify, take us through how you go about, I don't know, interviewing them, vetting them, that whole entire thing that you guys do, because that's your field, that's right. Your expertise.
Well, it's definitely changed with technology. Before, we used to bring people in face-to-face and interview them, and it was a much longer process. Nowadays, you FaceTime everybody or Skype. It's funny. I'll be talking to somebody and say, "Well, what time's your lunch break?" "Oh, 1 o'clock. Okay, we're gonna meet at 1 o'clock in your car."
And
That's
it's just
okay.
like this, simple thing,
Yes.
right? So you get to see what they're like, how they represent themselves over the phone. Okay,
right. You have to be fast paced. You have to keep on top of your competitors. So if somebody looks good, you want to meet them as soon as possible. So once you meet with them, you speak to them on FaceTime or Skype, and you screen them. Do they have all the characteristics, the responsibilities, skill set that the company's looking for? Once I feel confident, then I will put a summary together. I'll send it to the company, or if I'm really excited, I'll call them, say, "You have to see this person." And because I've been in the industry so long,
and Julie gets excited. When she gets excited, you sort of,
Does she do the giddy up too?
I do the get up. Like, Billy, come from the same place.
She has that excitement about it, and I can see like the little kid in the case. She's like, "I got one. This is a perfect candidate."
You get excited. It's like, all right.
And I'll tell you why, though, because you have passion for what you do.
Yeah.
So when you're
That's key.
passionate, that's
That
key.
is
Work
key.
when you
And that's why you're successful in what you're doing, man, because you freaking love the fact that not what you're doing, but you love building other people's businesses by giving them the right employee, the right candidate to help them grow, I would assume.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. That's why they come back. And that's most important as a recruiter in this job market, especially Long Island, because it's such a small place. You have to build that trust and that loyalty. And that's what it is. You get repeat business because you know what you're doing and you're confident about it. And you're passionate. That's number one, passion.
Yeah, you got to be passionate. So after that initial phone conversation, you're actually asking them certain questions, and you're pretty much grading them or screening them.
Right.
And are you pushing them right over to the owners, and then are they doing an interview, or what's the
So-
steps after that?
So one's good question. You guys are really listening. I'm really impressed.
It's funny because we both have ADD, so you really got us in a good moment too.
I do too.
Wait, there's a fly in the wall. What's that bug over there? What's that red shiny object?
So once I write up that summary or call the client and say, "You have to see this person. They're exactly what you're looking for. When can I send them in?
Yep.
What's your availability?" So once they tell me that, I set up the interview, and then debriefing, I'll speak to the candidate afterwards. So how did it go? Tell me how the interview went. What do you think? Are you excited? I want to hear from that candidate they're excited about the opportunity. If they're not excited, they're out.
Right.
I
They're
want
not a
them
right
to,
fit for
because
it,
that's a red flag.
Okay.
So then I speak to the company. What did you think? And then they'll give me the feedback, and then from there, we'll all decide: are we going to move forward with this? And I'm the communicator. I'm basically, matching the client with the candidate,
The
and
matchmaker over here.
liaison. Yeah.
And is there a chance sometimes they could pass your test? You could push them over to your client, but the client, maybe you got that follow-up conversation. You're like, they're actually not a good fit for this company, but I still want to push them somewhere else. Do you get that a lot sometimes too? Because I see what you're saying. If they're not excited or something went wrong on that where they didn't feel that was a good fit for
Right.
them, it might be a different position, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you have on your desk, if you happen to have a different position. But I always tell people, look, I'm going to hold on to your resume. You never know. I could get something else in a week, 2 weeks, a month, but I'm going to hold on to you. So, and I do call people back sometimes later on if I have another position for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're a good candidate.
Yeah.
Right,
If they
if they're a
present
good
themselves
candidate,
well, right? Because you don't
exactly.
want to start pushing people who are just not qualified.
Right.
If they're not the right fit. Good questions on that. And so you this process, like taking people through and bringing them in, on average, how many candidates is your company actually recruiting for at any given time? I know it's a
I
hard
would
question
say-
because it's always in flux, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, there's 6 of us, I would say the average is we have about 8 to 10 jobs on our desk each. That's pretty average.
Yeah, that's a lot actually. That's good because you're active. I mean, you guys are always
Definitely
placing.
very active. And and you rate your jobs on your desk. What do you think is going to close quicker? What do you think you could take some more time on? You ask the client, what's your sense of urgency? Do you want somebody next week? Do you want somebody in a month? Or you feel them out. That's how you know which jobs you're going to work on first.
I love it.
You have average turnaround time right now for hiring? Because I
I
heard
would
it's
say-
obviously unemployment is at the
very low.
Yes, unemployment
low
rate is the
ever.
lowest it's
So
ever been.
we've been seeing it on our
Yeah.
end. It's been competitive. Have you seen the times it's taking you longer to get people hired on your end, or?
I think it's a little bit shorter right now because of the unemployment market, meaning that companies know that people have a lot of choices.
Right.
So they got to move on
Move
it.
quick.
You're interested, you got to move. They're gonna be gone.
Are you finding that you're plucking from other companies right now because the inventory of good personnel is really low? Instead of going to job posts?
Sometimes, that's what you use LinkedIn Recruiter for, because those are passive candidates. Those are people that are not really looking, but maybe they're open to listening. So sometimes you can. That's
Create the
nowadays.
relationship.
That's how
Relationship and prepare.
you kind of headhunt.
So to elaborate on that one, with that LinkedIn Recruiter, do you find yourself, before you even have a position that's open, because I'm sure you have certain fields, certain, I guess, industries, IT, health, whatever it may be, that you're always going to need a steady stream of candidates coming in. So do you find yourself and your team going out on LinkedIn and building those relationships with the potential candidates before you even need to place them?
No, you don't have the time for that.
You don't.
No.
Got it.
You have to be completely focused on whatever job you're going after, and then you're contacting those candidates as soon as possible. What you think would be a match for that?
Because I would think that would be a hard sell to try to start poaching when the market is the way it is right now. Like, that's a long-term play, I would think.
Right. Well, you don't really have a reason to poach a candidate unless you know, like,
You have a definite
maybe
job.
you know 3 months from now companies are going to be hiring this particular background, but you don't usually do that until you have that opportunity.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Makes
almost like
sense.
building your database, though. I was thinking about when you said that to me. It's like, like then I would have 5 people on the back burner, and then I go out promoting.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, do you need this position? And then,
It's almost like reverse wholesale.
yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with it too.
You find the candidates, you're bringing them in, you're vetting them.
And now
you're
I got
like,
them. And now
I have this guy, or
and
this
then all
girl.
of a sudden, start promoting
she
it
would
to
be
some
the
big
perfect
companies.
fit for your business.
Yeah, make a fit for this gentleman because he's that good, or lady.
She's going to take notes on that.
Yeah, she's gonna. We're gonna help them build a business too.
So freaking funny. So you went into, I want to get into the next segment in regards to how you started and what it's like to be a woman starting out as an entrepreneur in this business. I want to get into that in the second segment, but to close up this one, so you guys are located in Islandia. If there's somebody out there, they're an attorney, they're an accountant, whatever field they're in, and they want to tap your resources, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, cohires.com, or they could give us a call at 631-560-2838.
2838, good. And so when they call in, I'm sure you have some sort of indoctrination process. You take them through, like picking their brain in regards to exactly what they want. How long does that process usually take when somebody calls in that they need a placement?
For the client
A
calls
business,
up.
business calls in saying, "Hey, I'm looking for this type of person." What is that like?
Well, I would say probably it takes a good half an hour to really understand what they're looking for. But what I really like to do, if this is the first time I'm working with a company, I kind of insist that I come to the company so I could see the culture. That's really important. That's what really sets
You apart from
like,
a lot of other headhunters, I'm
because
sure.
a lot of people don't do that. They're lazy.
Yeah.
You can't be lazy. You have to get to know your client. You have to get to know them and what they want, what the culture's like, who's going to fit there.
Smart. She goes out and sees it because you're selling it too. You're selling it to the
Right.
client that you're interviewing. So I like that. She
Yeah.
actually goes to see what it's about.
It's smart business.
Yeah.
It's just smart business. I
A
mean,
lot-
it's a differentiator because a lot of headhunters do not.
No, they don't do that actually. No,
because they're
that-
lazy. No, it's listen with the advent of
I like it. I like it.
of technology these days, they won't go and check out who they're going to be placing. But if I was her and I was owning that business and I was going to put my name in a line, you damn well bet I would go out to every business I'm vetting for to make sure they're going to be a good fit, that I'm going to be representing myself and my company. Because if you put good candidates into shit companies, you're giving yourself a bad name.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had that happen before, and we stopped working with them.
Right.
Just stop working with that company. Not every company is going to be an A player.
No, understood.
Right.
You have some of these companies that are hiring you for bulk hiring, where they're doing 5 positions, or
It varies.
sometimes we're hiring
I
bulk of
rarely get bulk bulk positions, and it's usually like a
Onesie-two-
one-time.
onesie-twos, yeah.
I have one company that keeps giving me business. I get 2 jobs probably every month from them.
What kind of business is that?
They make sports drink.
Cool.
I actually worked with them when they were huge, and they sold their company for $1 billion, and now they started
Billion.
again. $1 billion.
With a B.
Starting
I
out.
love
And
that.
I was
love it.
part of that because I placed a lot of talented people there,
love
except
that.
I didn't reap the rewards after they sold. So that wasn't very fair. But
You got to think a little bit of a different
yeah,
business
yeah,
strategy.
Yeah.
A little fake. All right, listen, we're here today with Julie Solomon, Corporate Hiring Solutions. She's out of Atlanta. Cohires.com is her website. You know myself and my cousin. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. We're located right over here in Holbrook, New York. You can find us online at easysell411.com. If you have a home you're looking to sell, whether you have a problem or no problem, you just want a hassle-free way of selling, call me, call my office, call my staff, call my cousin. Just call us and let us show you how fast and easy and hassle-free the process is. 630-631-400, or easysell411.com. We'll be right back right after these messages. Welcome back. This is Billy Alvaro, Wayne Hartzart. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. You can find us online right here at easysell411.com. Don't forget to listen to us live on 103.9 every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., or you can go log on to linewsradio.com. I never can remember it. So we're here today with a friend of mine, Julie Solomon. She owns a company called Corporate Hiring Solutions. She's a power female in the industry in Long Island, making moves, making business happen. Now, I want to go back. I want you to take us back to when you first started this business. Mm-hmm. Talk to us on how you got started and what motivated you to go out on your own.
Okay. So I had been working for a Wall Street broker who started his own staffing firm. He didn't know anything about the staffing industry, but he knew it was a good time to get into it. Because
what year was that?
2007.
2007.
Okay.
So no, I'm sorry. I'm going back. It was 2004, and that was a great time to be in the job market. So he started this business, and basically he was starting offices throughout the United States, and he recruited me and asked me to start his office in Melville.
And you were in the business prior to him recruiting you?
Yes, I was working for one of the world's largest staffing company called Adecco. It was Agilon, was a division under Adecco. So I had been there. I had been top of my game. I was number one recruiter in the country for my division, which was the creative division. And so I wasn't really looking.
Yeah, good for you.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I wasn't really
Congratulations
looking.
on that.
But when I got that phone call, he said, I'm going to, I could offer you being a manager. You can make overrides on other people. And he sold me the stars and the moon. And he was, if you look up Wall Street Broker in the encyclopedia, there's his face. This guy is.
He was a salesman?
He was the best salesperson I ever saw. He could have sold the socks off my feet. He was so good.
Off your feet.
Off my feet. That's great. I never heard that one.
That's hysterical.
That's
he,
awesome.
he was really, really good. So,
But did he deliver on what he promised? Or did he?
He
was it
did.
just a bit? He did.
He
Good.
did.
Perfect.
He definitely did. He trusted me, and I love that. He's like, here's my card. Fix up the office, decorate it, hire people. You do what you need to do. He totally
Empowered
trusted me.
you to make
He empowered
good.
me.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
That's what it was. It was a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. And I look back now, and that was definitely a stepping stone to give me the courage to go out on my own.
I love it.
So 3 years later, he sold the business. And so when I found out he sold the business, I looked at one of the other managers in the office, and I said, you know what? He's selling the business. Like, what are we going to do here? Let's go out on our own. We could do it. We did it for him. So
I love it.
that's how it happened. So little by little.
And what year was this roundabout?
2007.
So 2007. Did you go through? Take us through. Did you have college? College educated? You personally?
I had my master's.
You have your master's.
Yes.
So smart girl. Yeah, you have to give you that. Smart lady. So being in the field of working for somebody and always having a regular paycheck that you can rely on, right? Want to get into the mindset because it's a big change going from I'm guaranteed income to I'm stepping into the world of entrepreneurship where I don't know if where my next commission is going to come from. So what was your mindset like when you were making that move from I'm working for a W-2. I'm getting a steady paycheck to now I'm going out my own. Were you afraid? Did you have any inner like fear, or were you just like so pumped that there was nothing that was going to stop you?
Nothing was going to stop me.
I
knew
love
I
it.
could do it. I
love
knew
it.
it because I did it for him.
Yeah, the mindset
Why
was-
couldn't I do it? And what was really awesome is that when I started calling some of my clients that I had myself, he didn't give me any clients. I brought my clients with me.
Okay.
And when I told them what I was doing, they were all so supportive. And that's really what made me say I'm doing the right thing. I couldn't believe how many people were so supportive, that a woman wants to start a business, at a time that you didn't hear of that too much. It was just the beginning of that stage.
Of what?
Of women starting
starting
their
business.
own businesses. So I couldn't believe the support I was getting, and that encouraged me even more to say I'm doing the right thing and I'm going to go for it.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's great. You were surrounding yourself with the right people, because a lot of times you
Yes.
don't get the support.
It's
A
true.
lot of people like
right?
the easy way out.
Yeah.
They like the safe way, and they'll just they'll dog all the entrepreneurs. You can't do
Yes.
it. You can't this. Don't do it.
So-
It's not. And it's we
But so
deal with
these are
that a
people.
lot.
These are people that she was doing business with. What about, because sometimes our biggest supporters and our biggest lovers, our family, also would be the people who hold us back and be like, "Listen, this is too risky. Don't do it." What was your family like? Were they
That's a good
supportive?
question. Actually, I was going to mention my father is an entrepreneur.
there it is.
He had his own business for many years. He did very well. He retired at age 55. He very smart. He's the smartest man I know,
So he
and
was
he
supportive
really
of this
encouraged me.
100
He's
yeah.
like,
Oh, good.
"You got to do it. You got it.
As
You
an
know, you know what
entrepreneur
you're
dad-
doing."
That's great. Yeah,
So he, thank God, like you're right. Family. It's very important to have
you
family.
had the support of him. What kind of business did he have, if you don't mind us?
He owned a fabric store.
Okay.
Yeah, in Levittown.
Listen, it couldn't be better to come home and have your mentor right there with your father,
Yeah.
to groom you. That's great.
You know, I
because-
mean,
so he
listen-
might have been grooming you all these years. You probably were seeing it as you were growing,
Yeah,
and you grew into the
probably.
role.
Absolutely. When you
That's-
have an
if
entrepreneur
he
as
was-
a mom or a dad and they're in the household, I mean, it's
I love
going
it.
to rub off on you little by little. But sometimes it goes the opposite, and they don't mean to hold you back. But a lot of times in families that were conservative or that grew up where they were working for somebody else, W-2, maybe it was a cop or a nurse or whatever, teacher, and they have that daily paycheck, that weekly paycheck, and that retirement, and they're kind of a little apprehensive for their kids to take risks. And they kind of hold them back without realizing what they're doing, because they impose their self-limiting beliefs onto their kids. And they're like, listen, don't take a risk. It's too risky out there. So it's good that you had a dad that actually supported the shit out of you and motivated you. That's awesome, man. Good moves. Good moves.
you.
So you started off in 2007. What was it like, young lady in business, starting out on your own? Like, take us through that. What did you experience?
It was very, very challenging because our first office was like in the lower level floor in Melville, and at the time that's where
Is
all
that
the
like
businesses were. in
another
Melville.
basement? Is that what you're saying? A basement,
Yeah,
low
but
level?
yeah, lower level. I didn't want to say basement.
We all
but
started
it
in a
was
basement. We got stories in our
I started
basements
in a
around here.
basement.
Yeah, we got
This house
stories in
had
our
a lower
basements
level,
around here.
but it was lower level. It was a big office in Melville, right next to where 4 is.
Yeah.
That was our. So we had that office space, and we did something so dumb. That's when Vonage took over the
Yeah.
voice over phone.
Wipe you up.
But,
Oh, I remember.
yeah, so we decided to do that. The dumbest mistake. Could you imagine starting your business, calling your clients, and in the middle of speaking to your clients, the phone goes out?
Yeah.
I'm
I've been there.
but when we first start out, and I'm like, they're not going to work with us. Who's going to work with us? We're so unprofessional.
Yeah, it's
But
so
thank
funny.
God they still worked with us. And then
It's all the hiccups that you have to overcome.
that was a
All
big
the-
hiccup.
So did your dad guide you on how to set the business up, what to do, like how to get this whole thing going? Or did you just have like this innate ability to figure it out as you went? Or a combination?
Probably a combination, but we were lucky because my partner's husband is a CPA accountant. So he helped us on that end set up the business.
Perfect. Back in there.
Yeah.
So now take us
And
through too. You started this now in 2007, and then the market changed very, very quickly.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
you
yes.
just got in, so you're on that
So
high, and then all of a sudden
that's exactly
things
what
changed
happened.
about 6 to 9 months later, and
Yeah,
for the
a year
worse.
later, you got whacked.
So we were crushing it, in the
Crushing it from
beginning.
the beginning, yeah.
And then my voice is. And then I have a frog in my throat. Excuse me.
She's like, it's the voice.
It's not coming out. Maddie, give a little hit on the back.
Yeah. So then 2008 was great. Then all of a sudden, my biggest client that I just talked to you about, vitamin water, that's who they were. They said they were selling the business. That was my biggest client. I felt like somebody kicked me in the stomach. I'm like,
So
my
revenue
God.
wise, was that like 60, 70% of your revenue?
That was probably like 50%.
Wow,
I
that's a
mean,
big
I
hit.
had a lot of business there. So that was the first thing I heard before the market crash. Then little by little, you start hearing about, what's going on out there. Then you start getting really nervous. And then before you knew it, we had like no jobs. We had like nothing to do.
Scary place to be.
Very scary. So I walked down the hallway and there was another recruiter. He's on his own and he plays stockbrokers. I knew nothing about that. I didn't even know what I knew nothing about stockbrokers. He's like, just sit down, work with me for a little while. Maybe this is something you could get into. So I tried it. I worked with him a little bit until the market got back. And then luckily, I had a friend that worked at a very big retailer. I went to her. I said, you have to help me. I have to stay in business. Please give me jobs, whatever you could do. And that saved us. Thank God. So I got I got a bunch of temp positions there, long-term temp, and that kept us afloat. And then little by little, the market came back. And then we actually went, at that time we said, what else could we do to make ourselves different? And we went for a women minority certification. So that way we could be more marketable compared to our competitors. And we wanted to go after government contracts. So that's
Smart.
So that's another way we wanted
Realized after 50% of your revenue to start diversifying and what you can get into. That was smart. You looked and said, all right, I'm never going to go through this again because it couldn't have been worse. The market changing and you lost your client that was 50% at one point.
And you have to diversify.
Yeah,
it's important. It's important to diversify, but it's also it's important to also have laser focus on what you're there to accomplish. A lot of entrepreneurs, what I see when they first get started, is they have too many different avenues that they're going down at one time, and so with that, if you have too many things going without one being really good, you end up spending an inordinate amount of time on multiple avenues and nothing really gets done well. So I would say you have your business good, you have your one role that you're going down, you kill it with that, and then you slowly start diversifying with other avenues to bring in additional revenue streams. But so the fact that you've experienced like pain early on, that was, I think, very good for your business because it showed you who you really are. And you're a fighter, you're a winner, right? You could have been taken out. You could have put your tail between your legs and very easily have said, listen, this is not for me, this whole being in business for myself. I'm going to go back. What drove you to continue on even in the face of the economy crashing and really no jobs out there at all? Like what was the drive?
I can't fail. I can't fail. That this is my life. This is it. There's no choice. I have to keep going. I have to find other ways to survive.
I love it. I love it. And you did.
Yeah,
and she survived.
She did.
She's singing that
she
song
is now coming out. Yeah, no, that's what it's all about.
So take us now. You're in business. You've been in business now for what? 12 years. 12 years. How many employees do you have working with you?
We have 4 employees right now.
4 people plus yourself?
And then my partner. So there's 6 of us.
6 of you in the
Yes.
yeah, perfect. And your partner. So what's the roles look like between you and your partner? Front end, back end?
We're yin and yang. That's why it works. And I realized that throughout the years. Sometimes I'd get angry. Why isn't she hustling like me? Why am I going out there to get the business? But then after a while, I said, you know what? We can't be 2 of the same people. It wouldn't work.
No.
And so she does the back end. She does more of the accounting, the paperwork, administrative duties, where I'm really more in charge of bringing the business in.
You're the personality, front end.
Yes.
Charismatic personality, going out there, drawing the people in.
Yes.
So are you mainly focused on drawing in the businesses who are trying to place or the recruits trying to look for a job?
The businesses trying to place. As far as
that's
recruiting,
smart.
we all do that in the office. All of us are responsible for bringing in the people. Few of us bring in the business.
I love it. It's good business. So what fields do you specialize in?
IT, marketing, sales, finance and accounting, human resources, administrative, logistics, manufacturing. I have 2 recruiters that have been in the industry for about 25 years. They both work with manufacturers on Long Island, which there's not that many
It's like a
staffing
dinosaur,
firms.
right? Like,
right.
Like manufacturer's really not that big anymore.
Right. So that's why they still have the business because there's not many people that are in there anymore.
Yeah, that's wild. So on the sales side, what types of positions?
Sales positions?
Yeah, do you recruit for?
All different. For instance, my partner just had a big a big position in a tech company doing global sales, very high base salary. Sometimes it could, I would say the base salaries we work with is usually from 50 to 200 base. It really depends on the type of role, whether it's just, it could be, let me think of a lower level sales role I placed recently. I had placed somebody like in a pharmaceutical type of company.
They make good money, pharmaceutical sales guys.
Low level, because some of those guys make
some of those
big
guys
bucks.
make big bucks,
They
man.
did years ago. I don't know. I mean, they're still cranking.
So you're doing everything across the board from entry level to executives as well?
Not sometimes entry level, but rarely, because companies don't really need recruiters to find entry level
Right, it's
people.
pretty easy to just put the ads out there and just bring the people
Yeah.
in. So it's more mid-level to executive.
to executive level.
I love it.
Yes.
That's your niche. And are you placing, like, what areas are you? Is it just Long Island? Is it the city?
Manhattan, Long Island. We have a few roles in Ohio.
How the hell did you get that?
manufacturing.
Ohio?
I just placed somebody in Minneapolis.
Did you?
I guess with the
From
internet,
here,
you could place.
Yes, it doesn't
remotely.
matter.
So
Right.
you're seeing that more of that virtual and
Yes.
remote working. Has that changed in the last couple of years?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because, like I said, you FaceTime and Skype everyone today, so it doesn't matter where you are. You're doing the same thing, whether you're in Long Island or you're in Minneapolis.
I love
So
it.
will
the
you
same
start
thing.
recruiting that in different states now and bring that up to a lot of the corporations? Say, listen, I can get you
Yeah,
somebody
I'll
maybe
tell them,
better
yes.
or even for a better price in a surrounding state.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I
the
mean, it
job
makes-
market is tough out here, go to somewhere where
Go
it's.
where the people are. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people are now. Most of the guys and a lot of guys in our group have everybody scattered all throughout the country now.
So what are your plans? What's your future plans? Take us like what you see yourself doing over the course of 5, 10, 15 years. Because you don't take me for somebody who's ever going to really retire. Even when you do retire, I think you can always do something. It just seems to be a personality type. Maybe I'm wrong, but is that a fair statement or no?
Yeah, I can't see myself not working. I haven't even thought about that. I guess 5 years from now, I'd like to see us have at least 5 good government contracts that's going to work as a residual. And
love
that's
Yeah.
my plan.
That's the future for you.
just to have a residual, and then still make placements, but have that residual income come in, and be known out there as one of the biggest women minority certified companies in New York that could handle big government projects.
I love it. I love it. We're gonna have you back on when that happens. We're gonna tell the world she came on here, she said it, and she freaking did it. Love it. I
You know, it's
absolutely
funny,
love it.
when you say something about the residuals, have you ever tried to structure, if you're doing hiring for people, especially in sales, where you could get some type of residuals from them, depending on what they ever did for the business, or is it just a per diem for hire?
We do that with temp. When we place people out there on temp, we get residual because basically we're paying the person, company pays us, and we're
You're making a vague
Right.
spread.
You're making this work. Okay.
What's a normal time for a temp to stay at a job? Is like 3 months, 6 months, or is it no normal?
It varies. It really varies. I would say 3 months to 6 months. Sometimes they go perm with the company. It varies. Everything.
Is there a
changes.
placement fee with them as well, or is it just residual off of the hours that they build?
It's residual, and sometimes there is a fee. But if the longer they're there, the less there'll be a
less-
fee at the end.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Got it.
And what about some of these hires? If you're doing the mid-level to the executives, are there any replacement guarantees? Or a lot of people
Yes.
leaving? How does that work? 'Cause I'm sure people out there
90
wonder.
days.
90
if the
days.
person doesn't work out within 90 days, there's a replacement.
That seems to be pretty standard.
Pretty standard
Yeah.
across the board, right? Yeah. There's
Yeah.
really not much
you
people.
can usually tell 30 days if the person's going to work out.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, first 30 when they're coming in, first time they bang
well
in
behaved.
sick. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, what's going
Always
on
well
here?
behaved for the first month.
Or they're just not pulling through. They're not hitting their key performance indicators. They're not whatever they're doing. If they're not making their calls and not doing the conversions, you can tell pretty early on. So hire slow, fire fast. If you have somebody that got through the process of your HR department interviewing, Julie interviewing, and they come in and they're just not a good fit, you want to get rid of them relatively quickly because,
Absolutely.
like we said in the beginning, it costs a lot of money to recruit a person in, and it really costs a shitload of money if you bring in the wrong person into your business. They can really screw things up. Really
Absolutely.
screw things up. So listen, we're here today with Julie Solomon, Corporate Hiring Solutions. If you have a need to bring in recruits, any type of recruit, any type of situation, besides the entry level, give our friend Julie Solomon a call. Go over to her website, cohires.com. That's cohires.com. They're located right over here in Atlantia. She can place anywhere, basically, in the United States, from what I'm understanding.
Yes.
I mean, you specialize in New York, but you've been placing everywhere. As far as myself and my cousin, you know what we do. We have a company called Easy Sell Property Solutions. We buy properties all day, every day for cash. All areas, all situations, any type of property, any type of problem you may be facing, whether it's divorce, foreclosure, estate, behind on taxes, violations for your home, whatever the situation may be, give us a call, 631-400-EASY or easysell411.com. We'll make you a fast, easy offer over the phone. Really, the process is painless. The situation, any situation you're in, we have experience doing it. We've been doing this now for 10 years full time. I've been in this business buying properties since I've been 19, 20 years old. I bought my first house, so literally like forever, 30 years of my life I've been buying. I mean, it's a long freaking time, and I'm dating myself here. I'm getting old. I have a gray beard, for Christ's sake. This is not good. What the hell's going on?
No, you're not. You're getting
Listen,
younger.
you could always dye gray. You can't dye something that falls out, all right?
Right.
Take the gray all day, all right?
I'll
Go
slap
white
that
all day.
wig right on my head, man. I start losing it, I'm whacking it. Big ass fro on top of my head. I'm not going bald. I refuse.
Hope you zoomed in when you just said I'm whacking it, and he gets that right on film. That looked pretty good there, pal.
Yeah, it's so funny. You are so funny. So I want to just wrap this up with Julie. So Julie, just if you could, couple of words. Just if there's women out there who are looking to start a business, if there are women out there who, they want to do it, but there's a little fear holding them back. If there's women out there who are in business, they're experiencing a little bit of pain, just give them something motivating. Give them some part of your knowledge, because you have, a lot of knowledge, MBA, plus you're a successful business lady. Just impart some of your knowledge to them, some encouragement.
First off, you have to have the passion. If you don't have the passion, it's not going to work. You have to have that. You have to believe. You have to get up every day with a positive attitude. You have to just put out positive energy. You put out positive energy, it will come back. You can't think about failure. You just got to keep going.
And when you do fail, what do you recommend? Picking your freaking self up and keep moving forward.
Get back on that horse.
Exactly. I love it.
We learn so much from our failures. We fail forward in life. We have to. None of us would be here if we didn't fail on the way.
Yeah, for sure. This has been a great interview.
Yeah.
Julie Solomon, co-hires, everybody.
Co-hires.
This is my cousin Wayne Hartog, Billy Alvaro. Wayne, why don't you just take us out? We have 30 seconds.
Folks, we're Easy Sell Property Solutions. If you have a house you are looking to sell, please pick up the phone, 631-400-EASY, 631-400-EASY. Reach us on the web at easysell411.com. We brand something called the easy way out. It's the fastest, easiest, most hassle-free way to sell your property in this condition. Folks, give us a shout, 631-400-EASY. I want to thank Billy and obviously Julie for coming on. We had a great show. We will see you next week.